नमः सवित्रे जगदेकचक्षुषे जगत्प्रसूतिस्थितिनाशहेतवे त्रयीमयाय त्रिगुणात्मधारिणे विरिञ्चि नारायण शङ्करात्मने हरि ओम् हरि ओम् हरि ओम्. Salutations to the Vedic solar deity who is Aditya or Surya, the deified sun god, who functions as the sole eye of the universe, who is the cause of all the creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the world, who is the form of the Vedas, and who appears as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankara by the manifestation of the three gunas, which is Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. Today's video is a special video on Ratha Saptami, which is also called as Magha Saptami, and I will be discussing about the rituals, the customs, and the mantras that can be chanted on this holy day of Magha Saptami. So on the 18th of February this month, we will be celebrating the birthday of Surya Bhagwan, or the deified sun, and that's why this day is called as Ratha Saptami or Surya Jayanti, or also Magha Saptami. Sun, as we all know, is a source of light, heat, and life and vitality on this planet. He is also worshipped in Sanatana Dharma as the Arogya Datha, who means who is the giver of health, and Aishwarya Dhata, who is giver of prosperity. So, in this lunar month of Magha, in the bright half, which is the waxing moon, we call it Shukla Paksha, of this Hindu month of Magha, which is the 11th lunar month of the Hindu lunisolar calendar, when we will be celebrating Surya Jayanti on the 7th lunar day of the waxing phase of the moon, which is Shukla Paksha Magha Saptami. So this festival, as we must have already read about them, is related to devotees who believe that the sun was born in the universe on this specific day. This festival symbolizes the movement of the sun in the northern hemisphere, which is Uttarayan, but it also shows that the sun god Surya, who is turning his Ratha means chariot, in the northeastern direction, and his Ratha or his chariot, his golden chariot, is drawn by 7 horses, which represents the 7 colors, which is the Vib joy, the rainbow colors. And he is moving in the northeasterly direction. The 7 horses that we know that is being drawn is said to represent the 7 days of the week. And that's why Ratha Saptami also symbolizes that it is the end of the season and the spring commences and we start with the harvesting season. So for many of the farmers, this is a very auspicious beginning of the new year. Now this Surya Bhagwan, who is drawn on a chariot which is sitting where he's sitting on, and the 7 horses, this chariot is supposed to have 12 wheels, and each of those 12 wheels represents the 12 signs or the 12 solar months of the full year, what we call as a Samavatsara or Samavatsara. Here, the Ratha or the chariot of the sun god, it represents the mind of the human beings, and the horses represents nothing but our thoughts. And we have all noticed how our thoughts pull our mind in various directions. So, Ratha Saptami is that day when we have to involve ourselves with purity, dignity, with an intention of healing and having the righteous thoughts. The horses represents the righteous thoughts that pull the mind towards divinity. And these seven horses that we see also has a great importance, because each of the horses that harness to the golden chariot of the sun, they represent the poetic meter, and these poetic meters have been given even in our scriptures. So the first horse which is harnessed to the golden chariot of the sun is called as Anustub. Anustub means a 32 syllabled meter, and Anustub is supposed to have originated from the veins of the supreme creator who is Prajapati. The second horse which is harnessed to the golden chariot of Surya Bhagwan is Brahati. Brihati means that which grows and which also instills life through breath. So Brahati is a 36 syllabled poetic meter. The third horse, which is yoked to the golden chariot of the sun, is Gayatri. Gayatri is a 24 syllabled meter, and it is associated with intellect and the head of Prajapati. Gayatri is supposed to be a priestly Vedic meter, and it is supposed to protect anybody who sings the glories in this poetic meter of 24 syllables. The fourth horse, which is yoked to the golden chariot drawn by Surya, is Jagati. Jagati means it is a 48 syllable meter. And here it is said that it was originated from the bones of Prajapati, and he also protects the nature and the wild animals. The fifth horse, which is harnessed to the golden chariot of the sun, is called as Pankti. Pankti means a 40 syllabled meter, and it is supposed to have originated from the bone marrow of Lord Prajapati or Brahma or the supreme creator. The sixth horse, which is yoked to the golden chariot, is Tristub. Tristub means a 44 syllabled meter, and it is supposed to have originated from the flesh of Prajapati. Now, Tristub is a very important meter because more than 40% of the Rig Vedic chants and verses have been written in Tristub. And the seventh, horse which is yoked to the chariot, the golden chariot of the sun, is Ushnik. Ushnik means it's a 28 syllabled meter, and it is said that Ushnik is the horse which originated from the hair of Prajapati. Now, on this day of the 18th of February 2021, you will also see that the sun is transiting in a very important position, because when we look at the 12th division of the Varga charts, the divisional charts, which is called as Suryamsha or Dvadashamsha, we will see that the sun will be in this exaltation sign of Aries in the D12 chart. So that's why this specific day this year is also very important. So now let's come to looking at what are the rituals that you would want to follow on this specific day on the 18th, and maybe you'll have to check at certain locations. It might be also the 17th, depending on which part of the world you are. So certain parts of the world will be celebrating Ratha Saptami on the 17th, and certain parts it will be the 18th. So it's best to look at the Panchang for your local, for your your local area, so that you will be able to know whether you need to celebrate on the 17th or the 18th. Now, let's come to the rituals. The rituals are the early morning, what we call as Arunodaya period, and this period usually prevails about 4 ghatikas, what one ghatika being about approximately 24 minutes. So you have to start with the taking a bath in the Arunodaya period. As I mentioned, Arunodaya would be typically about 1.5 hours before the sunrise. And this period is also been said to be a very important muhurta, because that is about 2 muhurtas. Each muhurta is 48 minutes, so 2 muhurtas is typically 1.5 hours. So that muhurta is called as Brahma Muhurta. So by taking a bath in the Brahma Muhurta is the first step of this ritual. The second step is, after you have had a bath, you can come and you can sit down comfortably in Padmasana or in any comfortable posture that you would like, and you can take a rosary and you can start chanting the Surya Gayatri mantras. So I will give you a couple of Surya Gayatri mantras, and I will also emphasize on one specific Surya Gayatri which is very important. So let's start with the mantras. So the first Surya Gayatri mantra is Om अश्वध्वजाय विद्महे पाशहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नो सूर्य प्रचोदयात्. The second Surya Gayatri mantra is Om Bhaskaraय विद्महे दिवाकराय धीमहि तन्नो सूर्य प्रचोदयात्. Om आदित्याय विद्महे सहस्रकिरणाय धीमहि तन्नो सूर्य प्रचोदयात्. Om आदित्याय विद्महे मार्ताण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो सूर्य प्रचोदयात्. Om भास्कराय विद्महे महाद्युतिकराय धीमहि तन्नो आदित्य प्रचोदयात्. And the last one, which I would say you can probably chant it for 108 times, because this is a very specific Surya Gayatri referring to the 7 horses, and the 7 horses are important. As I said, it is Ratha Saptami, the seventh lunar day of the lunar month of Magha. So this Gayatri, you can recite it 108 times after you have had your bath in the morning in the Brahma Muhurta. So this, please listen to this Gayatri. Om Saptaturangaya Vidmahe Sahasrakiranaaya Dhimahi Tanno Rahivihi Prachodayat. I repeat again this mantra. Om Saptaturangaya Vidmahe Sahasrakiranaaya Dhimahi Tanno Ravihi Prachodayat. Once you have finished reciting these mantras, you can obviously recite the Aditya Hridayam, which is a very important mantra. And you can also recite the Navagraha mantra for Surya by Vedavyas Rishi. So I will recite this mantra of the Navagraha mantra of Surya by Vedavyas Rishi. Japa kusuma sankasham काश्यपेयं महाद्युतिं तमोरिं सर्वपापघ्नं प्रणतोऽस्मि दिवाकरम्. The literal translation of this mantra is, I offer my salutations to Divakara, who is the deified sun, Surya Bhagwan, who shines like the japa flower. who is the son of Kashyapa Rishi, whose effulgence is the enemy of darkness and who is the destroyer of all sins. So please listen to this beautiful mantra by Vedavyas Rishi to the Navagrahas and especially to the Surya. After this, what I would suggest people to do is they can offer Surya Arghya. What is Arghya? Arghya means when the sun is rising, that's when you would want to offer the water from a copper vessel. So typically, I would say you can take a copper vessel like this. I have one copper vessel. It doesn't matter how big the copper vessel is. Take a kalash, take a copper vessel, fill it three-fourth with fresh water, then put a pinch of red sandalwood powder if that is available. Also, you can put a red flower in this water in the copper vessel. Or if you do not have red sandalwood powder, you can put a pinch of red vermilion or sindoor, what we say, and then you have to stretch your arms as you offer the water, and it should be at the length of your chest. Ensure that the water doesn't fall on your feet. So the best way to do is you can look at a plant or a tree and stand facing east, and as you look at the sun you stretch your arms and you offer the water to the sun. And as you're offering the water to the sun through this copper vessel, you can chant, one or two mantras, which is, I will recite the mantras here for you. So one mantra is Om Greeni Surya Aditya. Om Greeni Surya Aditya. This is one mantra. Or you can recite Om Hreem Sum Suryaya Namaha. Om Hreem Sum Suryaya Namaha. So you can recite any of one of these mantras. And the purpose of doing the arghya is the salutations to the sun or offering your oblations to the sun. And the purpose of this is the logic behind is when you see a thin stream of water which falls from the copper vessel, it acts as a prism, and the prism will ensure that your body gets the seven colors, because the prism will disperse the rays of the sun, the early morning rays of the sun, and those rays of the sun will fall on your body. It is very good for color therapy. After this, what you can do is what typically the Vedic priests do is called as Sandhya vandanam. Sandhya vandanam is a thing of saluting the sun during the sunrise, during the noon, and during the sunset. And this is usually accompanied by chanting the Savitri Gayatri mantra from the Rig Veda. So Sandhya Vandanam, if you do not know how to perform, you can always recite the Savitri Gayatri mantra. So I'll recite the Savitri Gayatri mantra, which is also called as a Maha mantra. So you can also go and watch the video that I've done on my YouTube channel for this Maha mantra. So you will have more details there. So I'll start with this Rig Vedic powerful, super powerful mantra for the sun god, which is Om Bhur Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. Now, this mantra, usually by the priest, when they chant these mantras, there is a process of how you chant this mantra during the sunrise and in the afternoon and during the sunset time. Because during the morning, during the sunrise, it is said that you have to have your palms folded in front of your face as you chant this mantra, because this chanting is a reference to the Brahma or to the Supreme Creator. And in the afternoon, when we need to place the palms in front of our heart chakra, which is our Anahata chakra, because it represents a Vishnu in the afternoon. And during the sunset time, you need to have the same folded palms in front of your navel chakra, which is your sacral chakra, what we call as Swadhisthana chakra, because during the sunset time, this Gayatri will be, an invocation to Shiva or Shankara. The same Gayatri mantra 3 times, when you do it in the morning, it's always in front of your face. In the afternoon, it is, in front of your heart chakra. And in the evening, it is your sacral chakra. Now, after doing all these rituals on this specific day, it was mentioned in our scriptures that none of these mantras and all these chantings will give you the benefit unless you do go puja. Go puja means, worshipping, the cow, the holy cow, and also feeding the cow with go grass. There is also a reference, and the importance of this is also been said in the scriptures, because there was a swayamvara. Swayamvara means marriage ceremony for the mind born daughter of Prajapati Brahma. His mind born daughter's name is Ahilya, and Ahilya was supposed to be married to the man who could go around the universe the fastest. And in this competition, the best man was chosen, who was Gautama Rishi. Gautama Rishi, what he did was he just went around and he circumambulated a holy cow, and he was considered victorious, because going around the universe is equivalent to going around the holy cow. So go puja and circumambulating the cow is a very important ritual after doing any seva or any prayers or any havan or fire ritual. No fire ritual is complete until you go and take the blessings of the holy cow. Now, also along with that, it has also been mentioned that on special days like these, it is important to feed about 11 Brahmins. This is again another ritual, but in today's times, if you are not able to go and serve and feed the Brahmins, then the best alternative is to go and feed the needy and the homeless. So please do this ritual, because unless you have fed the homeless, the needy, or the learned men, in today's times, you can also invite and feed, teachers, gurus, or learned men or Brahmins, that is there, or you can go and feed the homeless or the needy. So that is a great ritual that also needs to be done to get the maximum benefits. And finally, what I want to say, no day no, this day is incomplete if you do not watch the celebrations of Ratha Saptami of any temple that is supposed to get you the maximum benefit. Because on this day, many temples in India, including Vishnu temples, will have the muhurti or the vigraha comes out of the deity, and he is sitting on a chariot. And it is believed by many of the devotees that if you have and you wish for anything, especially health or prosperity, dispelling illness or any forms of wishes that you have, he will fulfill 100%. That is the belief of um, the devotees, that on this specific day you should observe this. Now, what will happen if you do not have a temple which has Ratha Saptami celebrations? I would highly encourage people to watch this online, or even if there is a YouTube video that is available for you to watch about any Ratha Saptami event of any temple, where the deity comes and he mounts on a chariot, and the chariot is drawn symbolically to show that he is in the form of Surya Bhagwan. So I wish you all very good health, more power, light, love, grace, harmony, peace, wellness, and a lot of joy and miracles in your life. Have a wonderful Ratha Saptami. God bless you all.